Salutations, my friends, and welcome to Wednesday night live stream on Wednesday night. The magic, the mystery of the star tetrahedron. Look at it move. Power and love unified that creates a form of consciousness and light. And we truly then exist in the very middle because as it's spinning, it's opening a vortex back into the void where consciousness exists. And so we are beings of consciousness that have been able through the star tetrahedron long ago at the close to the beginning of creation to emanate out as waves of living light, which is then the theme of today's talk, which is angels I am. Angels are not really so much what we call angels as we depict them. It's just that there is so much radiance within the energy field of beings of light, and it's emanating from the heart from a great degree because that's the opening through the doorway of the void. Around them, the star tetrahedron is spinning rapidly, and just like the individual Jesus who mastered the star tetrahedron, as the living light comes out, it can sure look like wings. And so we then get the image of angels and archangels. But in fact, it's just emanations from the one, from the void. When Source first emanated, of course, it then created a triangulation of energy. So here is the sound of Om as it was emanated, upper triangulation, which created vibration. A vibration then created energy, waveform energy, and energy then created matter or mass. And so that was then the first triangulation of energy. There was then the mirroring of that, so that source as light then mirrored that which is the negative polarity. And from the negative polarity, it then mirrored the triangulation of love, of wisdom, and then of action. And so love, wisdom, and action unified with vibration, energy, and mass as it finally came together. It then created the star tetrahedron, but it was spinning around an open doorway within the middle from out of which the void originally then manifested this original triangulation. And then from it, at the very center of the star tetrahedron, is the dodecahedron, which we talked about last week. 12 sides, 12 points to the dodecahedron. Those 12 points then emanated out as rays of light, which became the 12 colors. Of course, we know that there is the major of the rainbow, but beneath and between there are subrays of color, which then are also then mirrored by the sounds on the piano, the light keys and the dark keys, which make up another 12. It's also then the 12 signs of the zodiac. And so we, emanating from the star tetrahedron in origination of life, were upon one of those rays of energy, but we were still manifested within the star tetrahedron. And so everything was light and it was life and it was manifesting in clarity and union and knowing because Source was then the architect and the creator of it. And so everything was known. Over eons of time, we as then angels of living light, which we call our higher self, which has always been pure and perfect, we then begin to come together, if you will, and seeking to find another way of evolution. And so we, not only we ourselves, but we with other beings of living light, other architects who had already mastered higher dimensions, we began to cognize that it would be a possibility to come out of the oneness and the unity of Source as simply streaming rays of light and begin to create a three-dimensional world that we could finally get into. And so we as angels of light, higher self, the soul, the great being you are, we then came together and began to create ways that we could create three-dimensional reality, worlds of form, and then begin to evolve from out of the materiality amoeba, and then from amoeba, then begin to divide it and then create more cells and begin to create more organs and begin to evolve everything upon the planet. And bit by bit, there was an evolution of consciousness within these rudimentary, what we might call forms. But it was really us working from the other dimensions upon these rudimentary forms with higher beings of light, mind you. They begin to evolve and create all the possibilities on the planet. And then it came to the point in time where then there was the evolution of consciousness that had then the right brain and the left brain developed in some of the most rudimentary mammals that we call ape or chimpanzee, some of those life forms. But with the right brain and the left brain being formed, there was the right brain feminine, there was the left brain masculine, and we as beings of light could begin to literally download ourselves into those beings. Now, why would we want to do that? The reason being, it was interesting. If you're always in a place of living light and upon a stream of energy emanating from source, everything is always known. There's no newness tomorrow. There's nothing different. It's just you're on this wave of living light floating through the cosmos and architecting more light. And so you know what the light that you're architecting is going to look like, what it's going to feel like. But at the same time, there's no time. It's a dimensionless place of simply being. And there's not then this idea of time space. There's simply space, but no time. And so that's why we then begin to create this new possibility of slowing everything down and in creating sequential forms of time that we could begin to get into. And so we then began to download ourselves into this experiment. But when we downloaded, no longer were we within the star tetrahedron of power, wisdom, and love unified with mind, energy, and heart. Those two triangulations begin to separate. And so there was then masculine and there was feminine, which then created then the whole cornucopia of life evolving on the planet. And as life evolved upon the planet in separation, because that was the only way to create form, because when there's simply the star tetrahedron, everything is balanced and harmonized and pure. So with this separation, it began the evolution of tremendous possibilities upon the planet. And we were the architect of that. We are the architect of that. Now, the greater being we are didn't fully enter in and completely disappear. It was in segments that we began to download ourselves into these dimensional bodies. This is why when we do our meditation practice and we do our spiritual work, we're connecting to that greater being we are that has always been perfect, pure, and a soul of living light. And the possibilities of now bringing the form into balance and harmony once again by finding that power is no longer manipulation or control or needing or wanting. It's simply energy focused upon light, upon focus of nine of what we choose, which then creates through heart love, through intention, matter. And so we then begin to create literally the possibility of entering into the worlds of form as illuminated beings of light. And so that's what we're doing in our meditation and our spiritual practice. We're learning how to literally hone and refine the star tetrahedron back together within dimensional worlds. And it's not that all of a sudden it's going to happen and we're going to now jump from out of space, so to speak, from the higher dimensions into this world of form. It's happening day by day, bit by bit, as we continue to evolve and unfold and become more illuminated. And so we are quite fortunate because we have the knowledge now that it is the star tetrahedron that is then the coming together, the mystical marriage of power and love. just like the individual Jesus who mastered the star tetrahedron. It's not that he lived outside of it. Literally, he was still here as a point of consciousness within. Like a, if you will, a moving picture, when you go to the show, there is this movement of light and energy out that creates something out here, a great ball of energy, but it's being created from within here. It's within the void and within this place of consciousness that we truly exist, that we're creating this whole manifest reality. We're not out here. This is the playground. This is the movie screen upon which we're playing and dancing and observing. And then by dancing and playing off it, feeling pain and suffering and joy and happiness, and realizing, how do I create more living light and joy upon the screen? By being focused and quiet and clear with intention within my being, within my consciousness. It ripples through power and love out from me and creates the reality. And so it's a whole nother way of living. We're literally creating life from inside out. And so that's when we begin to work more and more with the star tetrahedron. We realize that I'm really sitting here at the open doorway within the heart. And from this open doorway, I am emanating the choices of my intention, the love and the images, the imagination I choose. And as I then focus light and choose from within, it emanates out and then creates it upon the screen of reality. It's a three-dimensional screen rather than a two-dimensional screen when we go to the movie. But when you go to a movie that is so filled with emotion and feeling and action, you can get completely lost upon the screen. You're worried for the characters, you're in love with some, you're crying over others, you're afraid of this one. It's an illusion. And in the same way, we are creating this magnificent illusion. It's over the last many kind of millennia, if you will, we've been trapped within the illusion, believing that the screen is so real that it can hurt me or it can harm me or I can be overpowered or overshadowed. That I'm being somehow denied life by what's going on outside of me. It's an illusion. You're literally creating reality from inside out. And so we learn to sit more and more in the doorway, refining power. And what is power? It's the ability to simply hold attention upon the focusing of light. Power. Just like when you go to the movie, they turn the bright projector on. If they put no film in front of it, the screen is illuminated, it's all white, it's bright and shiny and beautiful, but nothing's happening. If there's no light and there's pure darkness, just as boring. When the light on the projector shines brightly, the film, which for us is our imagination and our feeling, that's the film. And so we then cognize what's the imagination and the feeling I choose. And I choose it from a place of love and support of all life because I know the God I am within. And I bring the focusing of light and intention to that. It emanates out from me and creates the reality that I will then be meeting and playing because it's joyful. I can never be hurt nor harmed, nor be hungry nor denied because I'm simply knowing that I truly created from inside out. This is what the Master Jesus showed us. And he became the living light, light focusing upon love and imagination and feeling. He wasn't trying to change anything around or make anything different. He simply imagined and felt this living light coming from him. And the light that was so clear and precise and impeccable, he simply created then the illusion to be different. And everyone agreed in the illusion because they could see it and feel it and taste it and touch it. It's all an illusion. There's simply source oneness, which you are, I am, emanating from out of the void at the very beginning of creation. Finally, learning how to cognize and bring imagination into atoms, and atoms become solid, and then they look solid, and they're running so faster with electrons around each other, but it's 99.999% space. We agree it's going to be real. And then life evolves to be planets, and planets evolve to become human beings. And then finally, as spirit and consciousness, we get in the illusion and we start playing. We go, oh, this is difficult. This is terrible. Well, at first it is. It's very sticky stuff we created. But it comes to the time where we begin to master consciousness, not by out here, but by being here within the small, still place within the heart, where power, wisdom, and love reside. This is where the star tetrahedron and the dodecahedron that simply emanates out, the 12 sounds, the 12 colors, the 12 emanations, they become the great illusion of creation, the whole universe. You are having great fun and joy dancing and playing with. It's not serious. It's fun. There were many times in my life when I thought it was quite serious, but over time you begin to hone and refine and then finally master consciousness and you realize the truth of what's really happening. So, no more seriousness, joy, and magic. So, one of the things that, of course, helps us kind of be clear that we are literally sitting at this open doorway and it's from here that we're creating is our breath work. We begin to have a feeling that when we're breathing in, that we're imagining light, source energy coming from inside out. You always somehow want to keep believing that you're out here. You keep wanting to believe I'm the body. If you're driving your car around throughout the day, as you start driving your car, do you believe, oh, I'm my Chevy, oh, I'm my Ford, oh, I'm my pickup, oh, I'm my sedan? I don't think so. But the illusion is so visceral and real. When you're inside of a body, you say, oh, I'm the body. No, you are consciousness running around in a vehicle that you are identifying with for a little while until you can stop identifying with it, bring love and joy to it, and from inside out, breathe light and life into it and become the master of this great illusion. So the breath work is we're breathing in, we're literally breathing source from inside out. Who and what you truly are. I'm sitting at the doorway. It's just as Jesus said, I am the doorway. So you're sitting at the doorway, and as you're breathing in oxygen, you're literally summoning from inside out source, that which you are. Bring it into this dimension, expanding this dimension. And as you exhale, you observe, see, feel golden, sparkling, effervescent light through every cell and tissue of your body. And then back to the open doorway. I am the breath of life. So let's do about 5 minutes of deep breathing by simply sitting quietly, spine nice and straight, the polarity of the positive above, the polarity of the opposite of the triangle beneath. I am the triangulation of living light. And from the open doorway, as I breathe in, I breathe source I am. A truer word was never spoken. Source I am. Gentle exhale, imagine sparkling, effervescent light within and all around. quietly imagining yourself sitting at the open doorway within the heart. I breathe that which I am, source, into this dimension. My imagination creates it to be sparkling, effervescent sunlight and peace. I am the doorway. On one side is the void, the other side, the universe of living light. I have great joy breathing the I am into this dimension, expanding the living light, creating more peace and joy. I am. Imagination is the key. What I imagine and focus upon becomes real. The illusion upon the screen of reality. Feel the living light arising forth. All the cells and tissues of the body being ignited with sunlight and peace. And a couple of more deep breaths from the open doorway. I am the void. I am the light. And then very easily now, still sitting at the open doorway, observing the dimensional world all around, the movie screen of this reality. It's such a new and interesting way when we often feel ourselves sitting behind the eyes and observing the reality. It's so easy for our consciousness to be on top, so to speak, of that which we're looking at. So take a moment and observe something, and you can almost feel that you're out there, you're on top of it, so to speak. Now come back and feel yourself sitting behind the eyes, and then look around. It's a completely different perspective. I am observing the reality. I'm not lost within it. It is not overshadowing me. I am the creator of the reality. And we become more conscious of it as we master the star tetrahedron, because it is power and love unified. So I'm going to take you through the architecting of the star tetrahedron. And then join with you, and we will meditate and create the dimensions of living light, expanding all around and through our lovely earth plane. So let's go ahead and close the eyes and feel the body relaxing. Feeling once again the breath that is calmed and quiet. I am the open doorway. And then we begin to image in, to imagine, by bringing our attention between the eyebrows. Drawing a line straight back to the seat of the soul. The pure light being I am. The pineal gland filled with light, filling the mind, brain. Gently focusing the light to the heart chakra at the sternum, to imagine and illuminate what already exists, the star tetrahedron. The upper triangulation of focused intention and power, turning left to right clockwise. The lower triangulation of wisdom and love, turning right to left in counter rotation. Opening a sacred vortex within the heart chakra, or the consciousness of the great being I am. Summons living light forth, sparkling and effervescent, creating a new physical form. The emanation of light all around me and flowing out into the universe. I am the light. Let's sit quietly together, creating living light from the open doorway within the heart. And very easily now, slowly coming back into the now. Well, thank you for coming and dancing in the light. We will return soon. In the meantime, enjoy and observe the great reality you're creating as an angel. Namaste.